Call to order the meeting of the Mayor and Council, March 14, 2022, regular meeting. I ask everyone to, in a moment, to rise and let us think about all those in Europe, the Ukraine, and all the neighboring countries, and all that in the world who are in danger of this conflict expanding, especially if it expanded to nuclear weapons. Let us keep in mind that what happens across the ocean does not stay across the ocean. Council President, if you could lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Statements of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. Oh, it's actually in this. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on January 8th of this location, date, and time to the town news and the record, and by posting the same on the municipal bulletin board and the borough website, and filing notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide?
Here.
Councilman Canigo?
Here.
Council President Cuff?
Here.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Here.
Councilwoman Malalari?
Here.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen?
Here.
Mayor Papaleo?
Here. Okay, first up, we have for discussion from RBA. So, Ms. Apertola.
Yes, at the last budget meeting, there was an outstanding item. You had requested our library director to provide an explanation on the requested workstations, and if people look around for another vendor for comparable pricing. So I've asked Mr. Connor to come to tonight's meeting.
Well, best practice is, of course, that we get at least 3 quotes for an item of this price. That does not mean when we budget, in this case 15,000, that we end up spending 15,000. For example, 3 years ago we did a whole bunch of countertops, and we budgeted 13,000 and change, going on memory here, just before COVID. Budgeted about 13,000, but ended up spending only 10. So this is just the figure budgeted. It certainly doesn't mean that we're spending that, and hopefully we could trim some of that off the top when we finally decide exactly what we want.
Dara, if I could frame this, if my memory serves right, the council's concern or question was why these desks, what is about these desks that demand such a high price regardless of how much we spend? Is there something unique about these workstations that I think there's 3 for 15,000. It's about 5,000 each.
No, the other way around is five for three each.
Three,
yeah,
sorry, about
approximately.
3 each.
Yeah.
So that's right. I just inverted those numbers. So what work demand or why would we need workspace that could run as much as $3,000 each? That's one of the questions the council had, and the other is, as you already stated, is there a way that we could keep it to something a little bit more reasonable? And so,
Well,
go
I
ahead.
can certainly address the first thing first, and then we'll talk about what the price may end up being.
Sure.
So basically, a little bit of history. Back in 2009, we first identified this as a need when we hired an interior designer to look at every square inch of the library, starting with the blueprints. And we had a laundry list as the length of your arm of things that we needed to take care of. We took care of most of them. So this one is one of those items that's outstanding. Basically efficiency. So right now we have, for the bookkeeper, she works in a desk about this size. That's the keyboard is up here, and the screen is here, and the printer is down here, and etc. So we're talking about extremely old furniture that's not built for use for
So I don't
PC
think
usage.
I don't think the council objects to replacing it.
Yeah.
So, and
Why
certain,
so much? Is it the cost?
yeah, it's the
Yes.
cost.
Yes, it's
I think
shocking.
we should, it sounds like we need to replace it. Why do we need to replace it with such expensive items, such high-ticket
Okay.
items?
Well, yeah, it's shocking. Like, this isn't the kind of furniture you're going to buy for your home office. Or,
Okay.
You know, because unless you're there 24/7.
Yeah.
Many people are actually these days, so maybe you would. It's not IKEA, you know. It's meant to last 20+ years. It
Okay.
probably will last longer than that. Okay? So, going back to my budget from 2009,
Yeah,
we hired a consultant, paid her $175 an hour to tell us what we need to do to
Sure.
make the building as efficient as possible. Her budgeted figure back then was 11,607.
for these 5
For-
desks.
yes, actually,
Workstations, actually, I should call them.
yes, to redo the workspace. Yeah. So 15,000. So I went back to the same company, BFI they're called, and actually they came back with I budgeted 15,000, but they came back with 14,834 or 31, and that's pretty close to what I budgeted.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean so. When I try to figure out what this is going to cost, you can have somebody come in and tell you exactly what you're going to do, and you may change your mind. You know, you decide. You know, when we decide, you decide if you want to fund this or not. So that's when we really get down to the nitty gritty and figure out exactly what we want. I have not yet sat down with my staff and said, look, all of you, tell me exactly what you want, because we need to get somebody in here to tell us how much that is really going to cost. So this is a rough figure. Doesn't mean that's what it's going to cost. If you want to cut it back, by all means do that. And I'll do my best to do what I can with the budgeted amount. If I can't do it, I could always come back next year and ask for more.
Any member of council wish to ask a question? Oh, and if I put this in the wrong context, feel free to correct me. I wouldn't, that wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, the desks need to be replaced. I think our question was really about the cost. It just seemed that $3,000 per station. If you're getting one station, everybody's using it, it's going to last 20 years, maybe the $3,000. But the 5 stations seems excessive for $3,000. So I would have thought that perhaps you would have just seen what these stations actually cost and been able to tell us this is what we need, this is what it costs, and this is why we need it, and then we could say yes, as we always try to do with all our directors. I just haven't heard that. I'm just being asked for $15,000 because maybe that's how much it's going to cost, and I'm just not understanding why they cost so much. These particular workstations. I mean, I know a desk doesn't cost $3,000.
So I'm not an economist. I'm not an expert on the manufacturing
asking you
of
to
furniture or
be an
anything like
economist,
that.
yeah.
This is how we put together a budget. I'm no different than anybody else in that way.
So can you answer how much each station is actually going to cost? What the actual cost is?
I'll give you a quote. I'll give you the copy here. It's we have NJ contract total delivered and installed. We have 4 workstations, 6 by 6 feet, in a cluster of 4, surrounded by panels in between each station. Those cost more. And then we have 1 8 by 6 for the children's librarian. So that's 5 altogether. 14,125. We have a figure there with a contingency of 5%. That comes to 706. All told, 14,831.
And these are just the desks and the
dividers, yeah.
the separation.
Back in 2009, she had suggested something else. Now, this is a good while ago. This is 12, 13 years ago. She had suggested slightly different size panels. She had suggested we do 6. I think 5 is enough. But that total came to 11,607. But that's not broken out very well. It's an estimate, an overall estimate for that. And I can also, did I provide you with
Can this be done
a
piecemeal?
drawing?
Can this be done piecemeal? In other words, can you get
If
that
you-
one
you-
desk
you-
this year and
oh,
then?
Here's something you could do. If you think that's too much, give me what you think it should cost. And as I suggested, I'll try and get it in that amount. If I can't, remember, it has to last 15+ years for a capital item.
Is
Correct?
this something that
Correct?
is this something that can be done piecemeal? Is this something that you can done one desk this year and maybe the other 4 next year, so that we can plan over a couple of years, or is this something that has to be done all together at once, and if so, why?
It doesn't have to be all together at once. We've waited, these desks, many of them are from the 60s and the 70s. It doesn't have to be done all together at once.
Okay.
But that's probably smarter if the money's there, if that's what you want to do. I prefer to do it all at once.
Councilwoman Monsalvo.
No, I'm just thinking that with the economy the way it is, if those furnitures are from the 60s already, chances are things are going to continue to increase in cost. If we have the budget, at least we can consider, I don't know, half of them perhaps this year, not just one, to use the economy of scale. Perhaps as a compromise, we can,
I was saying one because he distinguished the one children's desk, which is a
Yeah,
larger
yeah.
desk as opposed to the four, so I was
Why
thinking
we
one
do
and four, or four and one.
Why don't we do 3?
Perhaps the
the
council wants
next-
to give you all of them. I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
saying I'm gonna vote one way or another. I'm just asking questions, that's all.
Do we have a picture of what those workstations would look like? Because I don't think
We
we,
don't have a rendering of them, but I have a plan, like an architectural plan, what it would look like. Did I include that in the package?
I think we saw it.
I think we saw
I
it.
think it was in the packet.
This is from 2009. You see, we had 2 here for the children's librarians. I really think we only need 1, and then 4 right here.
so this would be the new setup, as opposed to the pictures, okay. All right, I remember seeing this.
I think a budget of our size, we should be able to absorb $15,000 to replace equipment that's 40 years old.
I agree.
So I'm supportive of the full amount. But I'm just one vote.
I
so
agree, and I trust that Dara will try to do his best, and,
Maybe be less.
yeah.
The chances are it'll probably come in around 12, around that, if we do all in. Yeah, and certainly we're always mindful of doing what's right budget-wise. Just because we have 15,000 doesn't mean we spend it. I gave you the example of the countertops.
Right.
I think we kept it in the budget anyway, right? We didn't
We
remove
did.
it,
We-
so
Yeah.
it's
I
in-
think we
Countertops were
anticipated-
10,000 in the end. I got 3 quotes. One was over the 13,000.
I'm not challenging you. I was just
Yeah.
asking questions, that's
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
We're good.
So this does not require action,
Nope.
but I still just, is the council in agreement that we're going to leave this in the budget and we're comfortable with that?
Yes.
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 All right, Dara, thanks.
Good, I'll do my best for you,
Thank
okay?
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, Dara.
Also, you're going to have in 2 items from now the masking. I'll stick around if you want my comment on that. Would that be a public comment, or would I be allowed to comment?
we talking
Do
about
you need
now?
my comment on that?
Masking.
Oh, the masking. Yes, Dick.
Do
Can
you want me
you?
to give it now, or shall I wait?
Can we flip-flop the two?
Yeah, let's flip-flop it. Let's go straight to masking. Dara, we're going to let you offer your thoughts.
We're ready. Been ready. Because here's the thing, we work with the public all day, so we have had to wear them all the time. And, I'm a notary public, so for example, I would have member of the public in my office maybe 2-3 times a day or more. I don't know them, and sometimes the mask is slipping over the nose and all the rest, and that made us all very nervous over it. But, when I look at the numbers out there, and I know that, I'm vaccinated and I'm boosted and I'm, healthy person, I feel okay about it, and I've polled my staff more than once, and they are okay with it too, and we're all vaccinated and boosted. So, and there's so much more we can do if we just give people the option of to wear or not to wear their mask. We can still wear our mask and protect ourselves if we feel we need to. I'll probably continue to wear this around my neck. This is what I do a lot of the time. My office door is closed. This, when I need it, I'll put it back up over my nose or whatever when I'm close to people. But that's pretty much, I think I represent everyone in the library when I say that we're ready.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Thank you, Dara.
All right, I'll sit back here and listen for a while.
All right, so does any member of council wish to offer an opinion, offer a comment about our current masking policy was that all borough employees must wear masks within the building within a certain range of feet for a certain period of time, which is consistent with the CDC, correct?
Correct. And all members of the public are required to wear a mask also, and we have that sign in the front door.
Okay. So what say we, council?
Can we just move to get rid of the mask mandate?
We
I'll make
could.
that motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, there we go.
Glasses and read.
Should have started off with that. We should have led with that.
That's good. All right, great. Let's move to Personnel Committee update. Now, Lizette, I'm going to recommend that you and Tom guide us. How much of the Personnel Committee's discussion can we talk about in open session? What do we need to discuss in closed session? And maybe we should just ask Tom and Lizette to step away for.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with what you guys
Yeah.
discussed.
So what I'm going to ask is just to adjourn for 2 minutes, bathroom break for those who may need it. And if we could just, Lizette, if you and Tom could go into the public safety room, and I'll come with you, and we'll just make sure that everything we're going to bring up, we can bring up.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we need to move for a recess?
Oh, yes.
Motion for recess.
All in favor to recess
So moved.
for 3 to 5 minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, great. Here we go. I call back into session the meeting of the mayor and council, March 14, 2022. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastidt?
Here.
Councilman Kanigo?
Here.
Council President Kaufman?
Here.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Here.
Councilwoman Malalari?
Here.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen?
Here.
Mayor Papaleo?
Here. So we were talking about the Personnel Committee update. We've gotten advice from our borough attorney on whether we need to proceed to a closed session or open session. Open session, the advice we've gotten that this would be budgetary and therefore must remain an open session. For the process, what I'm going to do is ask our BA to read the minutes of the Personnel Subcommittee. The council then can consider debating. The council can consider separately or together. The council could, if it feels that there's a consensus, move each item separately or move it as a group. I think the Personnel Committee, which is made of myself, Councilwoman Bastidt, and Councilman Kanigo, we might recommend that you move it as a body, but there's no obligation to do that. Are we okay with the process?
Okay. So the Personnel Committee met with the construction official who had requested a salary increase of an additional $5,000. Then they met with the DPW superintendent who requested an increase for the non-contractual employees of that department to be raised from 2% to 3%, and that was already built into the budget. Then we met with the police chief for the same thing for non-contractual police employees, from an increase from 2% to 3%. That is already built into the budget and would cover crossing guards and dispatchers. And the one exception involved the police secretary to provide an increase of $55,000 as a base. And that would require also updating the salary range via ordinance. And then there was discussion of the remaining non-contractual employees, since you had non-contractual in police and DPW, slated to receive a raise from 2 to 3 for the rest of the group. That is not in the budget, but on a very quick tally, it would be about $7,500 added to the budget. The Personnel Committee was in agreement of recommending these changes to for the governing body to consider as a whole, since the majority of it's already built in the budget as prepared by the CFO. And the last item was to increase the compensation of the borough attorney as a professional appointment from $25,000 to $30,000, and that's already in the budget. And that is the one remaining item is a closed session item that is not ready for discussion at this time.
Now, most of these have been found in offsets, except for the non-DPW, non-police non-contractuals. So that would be our clerk's, not the clerk's office, that would be the clerk's office, right?
An employee of the clerk's office,
Or the clerk office.
building, finance.
And so we're not recommending to go to 3 more, we're just recommending to go 1 more. And there was a lengthy discussion about the current employee market, the status of our employees compared to other boroughs, and our difficulty in attracting people to even consider coming to work for us as crossing guards, as dispatchers, and other things. And the Personnel Committee, I think I speak for us correctly, was unanimous in our recommendation to the budget. Some of these items will occur immediately. So the borough attorney would occur immediately. What else would occur immediately? Oh, no, would go back to the beginning of the year.
That is correct.
All of them or most of them?
All of them are built in for the beginning of the year.
So there would be retro that would be granted. So it is open for public discussion. And any member of council can feel free to ask a question of the Personnel Committee for clarification.
I have a question. The 55,000 that you mentioned, 55,000, I
Yes.
couldn't understand what that was.
Police
The increase
secretary?
to,
Was it the police
the
secretary?
secretary.
Oh, for the police chief secretary, the current salary of that employee is 53. And with the 1%, it was recommended, based on the upcoming work with accreditation, to make that position whole and competitive at market rate to 55.
And this is a 32-year employee of the borough. And when we look at comparable police chiefs, it's kind of difficult because different secretaries to the chief of police have different roles. But the chief, with the assistance of Sergeant Abate, it was Sergeant Abate, wasn't it? Did a thorough review, I believe, and found that this would keep us somewhat competitive. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, debate?
So if there is consensus, I would let the CFO know tomorrow to, the changes that had been anticipated will move forward, and of these additional changes, so he can compute it into the final budget document.
Could I have a motion from Councilman Bastide and a second from Councilman Canigo to place it before the body?
So second.
It's before the body. We could do this without a roll call, but I'd like for us to do it with a roll call. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Bastide?
Yes.
Councilman Canigo?
Yes.
Council President Hoffman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Malalari?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen?
Yes.
All right. Recreation topics.
We have our recreation director here, Valdanza, on 2 topics. One involves the River Edge Run, a request for a banner, and the other was an item of old business of repurposing the 2021 Bergen County Municipal Park Improvement Program from the County Open Space Trust Fund.
All right, Ms. Baldanza. Carolyn, why don't we start with the banner? I think that's pretty quick.
Right.
Just if you could state it for the public, so because we're on the air.
Okay. So we're requesting to hang our River Edge Run banner on the corner of Kinderkamak and Main Street. This is the normal location that we hang the banner. Its visibility is for our sponsors as well. And that would be up for a month. So from the 30th of March through the 30th of April, which is the last day of our run.
Okay. Mr. Sarlo, this comes up every year. Can this body bind a future body to a ongoing approval?
No.
No. And that's why, if anyone in the public's wondering, well, why don't we just approve it for this forward? We can't. So, because I'm sure there's somebody who's going to see this and say, well, why are they forcing the Carolyn or the director to come. It can't be because we can't bind a future body to what we're doing now. So I open it to discussion if there's any.
I just have a question. Can we do it by ordinance, where we say every year for 1 month, the Recreation Department can put up a banner to advertise the run, whatever month that is, or whatever 30-day period that is?
You do it by resolution in the beginning of the year if you want, and just put it in on one of your resolutions on your reorg.
Okay.
You could do it that way. I'd feel more comfortable that way than
Yeah,
an
all right,
ordinance.
so maybe we can
I
start
don't
doing
think it would
that. This
fall
way,
under an ordinance.
the recreation has direction, doesn't need to come here for this.
Okay.
Put it in as a standard.
Could I have a motion and a second?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Hearing none. Carolyn, next.
Okay, at our last council meeting, we were reviewing repurposing our 2021 grant. You had requested that I put together some estimates and a plan to see what that would look like. I met with Jason from DPW as well as Jason and Mr. Costa, our engineers. As well, I did a walkthrough with Councilwoman Kinsella on one of the sites as well. So in your packets is, I guess, a little explanation of everything. In reviewing this, we talked about covering the dasher boards. In addition, the area around the dasher boards, we have some drainage issues. So Jason from Costa looked at those issues and had recommended a plan. That's included in there, as well as I attached some pictures of the areas of washout that you see around the hockey rink. And actually, water's been getting underneath our current dasher boards. In addition, Little League had submitted a request to upgrade their batting cages, and in reviewing that with Jason from DPW, we thought we can enhance that facility a little bit more than what they were proposing. So we came up with another plan to actually have it fenced in. And there's pictures of that as well. They were currently looking at two sites. They have cages on each end of the fields, but we're looking to consolidate it into one area, which this is on the 3rd Ave space. So you could see pictures of what it would potentially look like. But it's a little safer this way, neater looking. I did include pictures of what it currently looks like. It gets a little messy because they also have the pitching mounds as well. So I don't know if you have any other questions, but the total amount came out to $188,475 for all these updates.
And we're repurposing from what amount?
It was 194, I
So we
believe.
came pretty close to that amount. Members of council have a question?
On the batting cages, the examples of what it could potentially look like, there's no lighting there now for batting?
Correct.
Are you proposing lighting?
No.
Okay, so we're not going to have lighting.
Thank
Okay.
you for bringing that up.
Okay.
Any other member have a question or a comment? Councilwoman Kaniga.
Really good work, thank you. This gives me an idea of what I need to know, and I like this, appreciate it.
I'm sorry, one other
Councilwoman
question.
Bastide.
Currently, they're behind the hockey rink, right? Isn't it behind the hockey? Are you
There's
proposing to
one.
move it?
Right, so the one behind the hockey rink
Is going to
would
go away?
go away, so we would have more space
Right.
for future to potentially do
Other-
other things. And yeah, we were consolidating, because the location where the one is, I'm saying like the 3rd Ave, it's by the little
It's by
playground.
the little playground, right? Okay.
Yes. Yes, because there's a lot of open space there, but we could really, make use of that.
And that's used
that
as
area.
pitching cages already right now.
Right.
They use that area over there.
So we're talking about with Little League, they're going to use the cages for their pitching as well, so it's safe and.
Yep.
Any other member of council with a question or comment? Then could I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. It is open for debate. Is there debate? Here, roll call or just acclamation?
Acclamation.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
So the next step, based on what the municipal park program representative had indicated to me, is that we would have to just do a new application to repurpose this. So there will be the opportunity for a formal vote via resolution to authorize the submission. And I would just have to look at the calendar for timing, because we do have to put a legal ad about this pending application. So it would I'm shooting for most likely for the April 14th meeting.
Excellent.
But I'll let CFO know that we're moving ahead with this. And even though the estimates came a little bit under budget with today's economy, we should just keep that same amount in.
I think so too. Everybody in agreement?
Yes.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no objection, we'll move to the next item. Hearing none. Approval of minutes. Could I have a motion from any member of council when I finish reading, and then a second? Approval of minutes of the mayor and council regular meeting of February 14th, 2022. Approval of the minutes of the mayor and council special meeting of February 26th, 2022. Approval of the mayor and meetings, I'm sorry, I left out minutes. Approval of minutes, each time it should include, of the mayor and council regular meeting for February 28th, 2022. Approval of the minutes of the mayor and council closed session meeting of February 28th, 2022.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. This requires a roll call, doesn't it?
Yes.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Basid?
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo?
Yes.
Council President Kaufman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Malalari?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen?
Yes.
All right, so we have a proclamation declaring the month of March as Women's History Month, and Councilwoman Bastide has been kind enough to receive this. Councilwoman Bastide has a remarkable past and present. She is an officer of We Do, which is a woman empowering group. She has been on the council for a very long time, and many, many other achievements that makes her receiving this an appropriate and a worthy thing. So, proclamation. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic group have and made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. And whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background serve as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which created a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in literature, teaching, and study of American history. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Thomas Papaleo, Mayor of the Borough of River Edge, in recognition thereof, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2022 as Women's History Month. Any comments, Councilwoman?
Sure. First, I want to just thank you all for giving me this honor. It's very meaningful to me. The people of River Edge have been very lucky to be served by some esteemed councilwomen and a mayor, former mayor, starting with Mary Donahue, all the way up through to our newest councilwoman, Claudiana Malilari. So I'm a true believer that if you can see her, you can be her. And it's just my great honor to serve with all of you, and I thank you for allowing me to accept this.
Hear, hear. All right. We are now open to public comments on any item on the agenda. There is no one present, Mr. Sarlo. Do we need to go through the?
Let's just go through the motion.
Okay, absolutely.
In case somebody steps through that door in the last 30 seconds.
Absolutely. No, that's fine.
Put online.
Could I have a motion and second to open on any item on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call.
No, it's a voice vote.
Voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? All right. Carolyn, you are part of the public at this point. Do you wish to say anything or ask a question? All right, then. Could I have a motion to close to the public on any item on the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? None. Okay. Appointment and personnel changes. We're going to do this two items as a group. Could I have a motion after I read it into the record? Approve the salary change. Approve the salary change of Gabriel Colucci, police officer, from an annual salary of $63,067 to patrol officer, 16th grade, $72,526, effective April 8th, 2022. Approve the salary change of Jason Melito, Superintendent of Public Works, from an annual Step 3 salary of $145,054.61 to Step 4, $151,648 plus longevity, effective March 11th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. This does require a roll call. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastidt?
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo?
Yes.
Council President Kaufman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Malilari?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen?
Yes.
Okay, we have monthly reports on record for any member of the public who would like to ask for a copy from the clerk, library board, tax collector, land use board for the months of March and February respectively. Resolution by consent. So let's move it and second it, see if we have any debate or questions. If we need to pull something out, we can always do that. So could I have a motion to move resolutions 22-108 through 22-113?
And we have an extra
Oh.
one.
And we have actually also another one, 22-116, which was walked in, an amendment amending the bylaws of the River Edge Mayor and Council. This was a correction in time and date, I think?
Yeah, time.
The time of the meetings to reflect that we're starting at 7 instead of 6:30, as well as to set a time limit for public comment of 2 minutes.
Excellent. So limit public comments to 2 minutes and start time of 7 p.m. Could I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We are open to debate, comment, question. It's on the floor. Hearing none, could I have a roll call vote?
Councilwoman Bastidt?
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo? Council President Kaufman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Malilari?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen?
Yes.
Council President, you're also the Finance Chair. If you could move 22-114.
Yes. Payment of bills at a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on March 14, 2022. Be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current fund, $463,215.53. Capital fund, $105,198.19. Grant fund, $1,842.85. Animal Control Fund, $144.60. Trust Other Fund, $156,335.24. Payroll Fund, $28,999. Trust Other Developers Fund, $2,090. Recreation Trust Fund, $1,020.44. So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Basid?
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo?
Yes.
Council President Kaufman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mallory?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen?
Yes.
Okay, we are up to new business. Is there any new business before this body? Old business?
I have one item.
Absolutely.
Regarding our 2022 budget, we finally received our BCUA bill,
Yes.
and our CFO was on target. The bill is broken up under two line items. The first line item was higher, but the second one, the debt service, was lower. So in actuality, we are fine. We don't have to make any changes to that account.
Nice.
Love that. Have we heard from Hackensack and Paramus?
No.
All right. All right, any other old business?
Any update on the construction?
The environmental company came and evaluated the first floor last Wednesday and the second floor. So I will be meeting with the architect later this week and start coming up with plans for demolition. And I was meeting with our DPW superintendent, and we're working on reconfiguring, moving the offices in the main building over to public safety side. So it is moving.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question you may not know the answer to? Once the budget is approved, and of course giving concerns for going out to bid and for weather, when might paving of the roads, especially Continental Avenue, happen? Would that be May, June, or June, July?
Well, Continental Avenue is a holdover from last year's
Yep.
contract, so as long as we have consistent overnight temperatures above, I believe it's 50 degrees, it is tentatively scheduled to take place around April.
Okay.
Our main roads go through the Riverside Cooperative. They will be posting their bid notice within the next week or so. The bid opening is expected to be held by mid-April, so we will know what roads we will be able to pave and what the price will come in per ton, since it is dependent on, since asphalt's dependent on gas prices.
And if the council is in agreement, what I'd like for us to do is add a permanent old business item where we just get, to whatever degree you can, an update on all construction as wherever we are and so that it becomes part of the public record. And the public can also then see, whether they're in person or watching this on YouTube, where their tax dollars are going. Is the council in agreement?
Yes.
Since we approved the contract for the ADA ramps, I will be reaching out to our engineer to schedule a pre-construction meeting.
Excellent, thank you. Any other old business? All right, great. Public comment. Can I have a motion and second to open to the public on any issue the public might have?
So moved?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstaining? Hearing none, it is open to the public. Carolyn? Could I have a motion and second to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? All right. Are there any council comments tonight? All right. Then could I have a motion and a second to, after I read this into the record, Resolution 22-115, resolution to go into closed session, exclude the public. Closed session docket number 22-3/14-1, attorney-client privilege, OPMA. 22-3/14-2, personnel, review of Chapter 79 with Recreation Director. Could I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Basid?
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo?
Yes.
Council President Kaufman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mallory?
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen?
Yes.
Okay, so we will be adjourning at this time. So could I have a motion, of course, we have to come back into public session to end. So could I have a motion and a second to adjourn, to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? All right,
Can we just take a 5-minute break? 'Cause I need
absolutely,
to
yeah.
Go, close
Okay.
it out.
Okay, could I have a motion of the public?
So moved.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? You got to say your name and address.
Raymond Stitz, 210 Mohawk Drive, River Edge, New Jersey. I want to thank you for opening it up. I was doing another thing and I noticed I got to your Zoom meeting
Okay?
last week, and I don't know if it was a repeat or whatever. And two things came to mind. The one woman with the encroaching, the town's going to do road work and it's encroaching and everything. Well, River Edge has a bigger problem. It's called the Oak Street Paper Street.
Yeah.
Okay? If you look at Oak Street Paper Street, everybody has encroached and put different shrubs and everything, encroaching, especially Adams. It's really, now, since we build bigger and better in River Edge, is there a chance that the property might be sold, saying, here's your property, and your property is really this big, and the town, the town would be at, a crossroads, because now they never regained that property, the encroachment, and now it becomes part of
Yeah.
the new property.
So I'm going to ask Mr. Sarlo to address that, but basically, we don't lose, it's not like squatters' rights.
I'm trying to,
This was before us.
the people have, let's say, a foundation of 50 feet frontage, okay? And they take 12 and a half feet to put shrubs and onto the town property, making their property look even bigger.
You're saying, well, is the town then, because they do that, does that piece of property revert back to the landowner and the town loses
Right.
their right?
Adverse possession, do you remember the? I may be missing one or two of them.
Open and notorious.
All right.
So no, the town is aware that these shrubs are in the right of way. There's no reason to remove them right now. If we did need to remove them, we would be within our right to go in and remove it without any notice to the homeowner beyond what is legally required.
Okay.
In such situations, so it doesn't become theirs by virtue of them planting things.
Okay, because when that woman spoke, I said, Oak Street, and if no one knew about it, the council would be blindsided. that-
Well, first of all, they have to get an as-is site plan when they buy the house. And that becomes the legal standing document. So, you can't simply say, well, this isn't the 1840s and we're not,
Okay.
The town's.
And the individual you're referencing is a perfect example of this, because it's technically her property, but the town has a 10-foot right-of-way. And when the issue came up, we went to her and we said, we have to do this work, and this is what's going to happen. And she came before the land use board and spoke to it, and the land use board gave direction at that point. But that's exactly the situation there, and she wasn't able to say, no, you can't do anything because
Right.
this is mine.
Now, the second thing, and I promise I won't keep you any longer. You said that the town is looking at rewriting or redrafting the way they handle water leaving my property and going out into the curb, on the curb line.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't know if you're aware of it, but certain builders that build bigger and better now are putting a sump pump in the collection tank, for no better term. So when the switch goes on, a torrent of water goes down the street. I mean, a torrent, you know, and all year long, even in the wintertime. And it's a new, I don't know if it's a new gimmick, but one builder seemed to do it a lot. And you should also, you know, look into that as you're rewriting the paper to make sure that, no, you're not going to not only remove the rainwater from your roof, but now you're even evacuating the groundwater that, especially down in Mohawk, you know, we have a high water table because we used to be a swamp. And, you know, so keep in mind that builders are trying to do that now, and they're nullifying whatever you're doing to get you to retain the water. It's spitting out into the curb.
I'm working with the borough engineer right now, drafting the sump pump ordinance. We should have it ready for you for the April meeting. Mr. Costa will also be here to explain everything to you. I'll bring this up to him.
Excellent.
See if we can.
And it's something that the builder does. I mean, the homeowner, if they move from a condo or whatever, they have no idea.
No.
So it's something the builder is doing, and, you know, it's not right.
We're going to address it. We're taking item by item, and this is the next item that we need to address.
Well, I figured I'll just throw it out instead of waiting for you to write the ordinance. I said, you know what? You forgot something.
We appreciate it. We much rather do it beforehand and do it right the first time than have to amend.
Right. Well, thank you very much,
Thanks for
everyone,
coming.
for giving me the special privilege.
Thank you. No problem.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good night. All right, and our first public comment. You.
That's right, I heard no one showed up.
You showed up.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, is there any other business? Can we have a motion to close the public?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? Could we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? Great work, everybody. It's good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.